online presentation of Joyleen Sagandira, challenges and opportunities in engaging local communities in sustainable management of underwater cultural heritage, case study of Lamu Island.
Good day, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much.
Can you see my screen?
No, we cannot. Now something is arriving.
Can you see now?
Give us 1 minute. Yes, something is. Yes, we can see. Yes.
Okay. My name is Joyleen. I'm a PhD student at Nelson Mandela, doing a project on the impact of the port development and its impact on livelihoods and gender. So my presentation today, I'm going to present on the challenges and opportunities in engaging local communities in sustainable management of underwater cultural heritage, using Lamu Island as my case study. So as a way of introduction, I'll start by defining what underwater cultural heritage is all about. According to UNESCO, underwater cultural heritage simply refers to all traces of human existence, for example, subjects, sites, shipwrecks, and artifacts of historical and cultural significance. In relation to Lamu, Lamu Island's maritime heritage is crucial for its cultural identity and economic development. And the objective for this presentation or for the project is to explore the community engagement as a tool for sustainable underwater cultural heritage management. The entrance of Lamu World Heritage Site, and also moving on to the significance. UNESCO World Heritage Site. Lamu is a World Heritage Site that was described in 2001 because of its rich Swahili maritime culture, and also because of the proximity to ancient trade. Lamu is known to have connecting East Africa with Arabs and India. And it has managed to trade like things like ivory, the spices, textiles, and enslaved people. It also have things that are related to their maritime culture. The issue of traditional dogs for sailing, which are used by fishermen. They use them when they are fishing along the ocean. And also there is the issue of the knowledge of the monsoon winds, which they use, which they call the cascos and the cous. That knowledge they use to determine the winds, where they can be having, whether they can have a great catch or not. So they use their knowledge to do so. In terms of threats, there's the issue of rapid urbanization. Lamu is it's a cultural site, but predominantly there's a lot of development that has been happening, and one of the most development that has been happening in Lamu is the port development, which was launched. They're trying to trade between South Sudan, there's Kenya, then there's Ethiopia. So that upward development, it has come in terms of culture, economic pressures, environmental pressures, and so forth. We will discuss them in the next slides, and also another issue of climate change. So before I did this project, I had to look at the ethical considerations, looking at Lamu in general, because of the Al-Shabaab issues. So firstly, I had to permission to conduct research in the area. You talk to the chiefs, and also you hear whether the community are willing to share their knowledge. They are willing to share the knowledge they have in terms of underwater cultural heritage. And among the knowledge, the issues of inclusion, acknowledging the community knowledge in UCH management, the inclusion in planning and decision making before the project begins, then issues of avoidance of cultural appropriation, then equitable benefit sharing and minimal impact on ecosystems, which are key to the community livelihoods. Basically in Lamu, the community survives on the ocean. So anything that has to do with the ocean, it has to be something that preserves or that allows them to continue finding their means to survive. So moving on to the core of the project, in terms of challenges in engaging local communities, one of the challenges in Lamu that I've noticed, there is the issue of limited knowledge in terms of UCH significance. Like you have heard from the previous presenter, she was talking about the lack of knowledge. In as much as the kids, if you have seen what she was talking about, the kids, they have knowledge, they know what is found in the ocean, but the depth or the significance of that kind of heritage, they are not well versed about that. And so there's limited knowledge in terms of UCH, and it's something that we have found also when we were doing, when I was doing interviews, interacting with the community. The community seems to have limited knowledge in terms of the significance of UCH, besides being something that is economical to them. They can survive on it, but the other significance of preserving this UCH is something that they need to be trained or being taught about. And also there's an issue of inclusion in heritage training programs. Mostly the challenges the communities were raising. These programs that comes within this within the community, some of them, the community are not involved. They are not involved, so there is an issue of a lack of inclusion in terms of training programs. And moving on to economic pressure is one of the other challenges. The community solely depends on fishing and trading. So when we are now coming in, you want to talk about UCH management, and so they feel like you want to disturb them, or you want to jeopardize their way of living. So that one, for them, they have to focus. They feel like maybe focusing on having their means of livelihood is better than managing it. So it's one of the challenges that were raised during the research I was doing. And also there is the issue of immediate needs often outweigh long-term conservation goals. These people, they are more focused on getting food on the table. The conservation goals, they are not worried about that, because for them the question is, what if we are to do we are to go the conservation way, and what about their livelihoods? How are they going to survive? Probably the conservation or management planning issues who maybe prevent them from making it or making their family survive. And also there's the issue of inadequate legal frameworks in terms of Kenya in general. The frameworks are there. The frameworks are there, but some of them, they are not explicit. They do not protect the community. They just have the legal framework. They're saying the community should be involved, but mostly whenever the government is coming, for example, the port development that I've raised, there have been issues. They've been to courts. They are trying to air their voices, saying, why can't we be involved in these things? Why can't we not do this? But they are not being heard fully because the legal frameworks they are not protecting them fully, and they cannot advocate for them on their own. And also there's the issues of cultural sensitivities, balancing traditional practice with conservation efforts. Usually the conservation efforts will end up outweighing the traditional practices. And here there's a picture, we are looking at the seafront. There's pollution, which is another issue. There's a lot of pollution. People are throwing in garbage along the ocean, which may have significant impact on the UCH management. Moving on to in terms of opportunities, this is just a picture where I was interacting with the communities, trying to understand what can be done, deliberations that can be done in terms of, as far as UCH is concerned. In terms of opportunities, I noted that in terms of local knowledge, the indigenous maritime practices can inform sustainable management. On this one, if you go to Lamu, in general, usually it's the fishermen and the divers are the ones who usually interact with the ocean, where we are talking about underwater cultural heritage. So these fishermen usually they use their knowledge. They have knowledge to locate the sites. They have knowledge to they don't even use GPS. Like, for example, I've told you they use what they call the moonton, the couscous, and the coast. They use that kind of knowledge to determine sites, to know where they can be the sailors. Also, they can know where to fish, time zones to fish. This is not the right time to do fishing. So, in terms of opportunities, this opportunity, whenever we are to integrate the local knowledge and expertise in UCH management, it can sustainably manage underwater cultural heritage in Lamu, and also it can be applied in other areas. Then in terms of economic incentives, we can talk of whenever UCH is managed sustainably, tourism can arise, and it can create local employment for the community, even in other areas at large. And we talk of our police integration, the inclusion in development planning. It can strengthen our community rights-related management. Those are opportunities that lies with engaging communities in sustainable management. And also the issue of collaborative platform partnerships between government, NGOs, and local groups. In Lamu, there's a group that is called Save Lamu. It's a non-governmental organization which is advocating for human rights, inclusion of communities, in terms of any development that are related to heritage in Lamu. So such collaborative platforms, if they can be created more, it can help in sustainably managing UCH sustainably. Moving on to case study insights. In terms of community initiatives, the local advocates groups promoting heritage education, for example, there is a community-led festival which is held annually in Lamu, which is called Maulid Festival. The community got to showcase and celebrate maritime heritage, not only maritime heritage and other intangible, the tangible cultural heritage in Lamu through door races, storytelling, and exhibitions. these kind of exhibitions, they can help in managing UCH sustainably with the engagement, because this kind of initiative is run by the community completely, and this kind of activities, they promote awareness in UCH as well as encouraging ownerships and enhancing public interest in heritage conservation. In terms of the fishermen, the divers are encouraged to report damage and UCH. Then in terms of successful stories in similar context, we can talk of there's the one, the Kilwa Kiswani in Songomara in Tanzania. There's a capacity building project for local communities to participate in heritage management. The initiative improved local knowledge on the value of heritage, leading to sustainable tourism practices. There's another one in Maldives, submerged coral stubstones, which will receive technical support from the international air experts, and this has preserved heritage whilst adapting to sea level rise. Then the lessons learned, there's the value of community knowledge. Communities are usually the first to notice changes and damages in UCH. Their knowledge is valuable in long-term management of UCH. There's issues, UCH is linked to economic benefits which are essential for community livelihoods. Conservation efforts must respect local customs, values and traditions for them to be successful. Youth engagement ensures sustainability of conservation practice while passing heritage knowledge to future generations. Recommendations, there's awareness campaigns, there's need which promotes UCH through schools, cultural festivals and media, capacity building, training locals in heritage management and underwater culture, underwater archaeology, sustainable livelihood, to develop alternative income sources linked to heritage tourism and policy reform, which advocate for stronger laws protecting UCH community. And in conclusion, engaging communities is essential for sustainable management of Lamu Island's UCH. In terms of call to action, there's a need for collaboration among stakeholders to preserve heritage while supporting community livelihoods. A closing thought, I would say cultural heritage belongs to the people, its future lies in their hands. Thank you, that's what I had for today.
Thank you.